Hey, let's just see what the cards have to say. Messages from our spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. Ooh, we got way too many cards. We got look at the bigger picture. We've got your dreams need a practical plan, and emotions are running high. Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, we got mutable energy here. So yeah, things just feel like they're up in the air right now. Okay, par for the course. Considering the fact that we are in Pisces energy and Pisces is mutable, it's time for us to really start honing in on what we need to do and start making moves, but just recognize that you're going to have to start putting one foot in front of the other to make things happen. And this could be like some type of an emotional ending, but it's for a bigger reason, a bigger purpose is what I want to say. Okay. So for a lot of you, this is about travel because I see the ocean here and I also see Sagittarius here. And so this could have to do with your philosophy. This could have to do with actual travel. It could have to do with moving. And it's time for you to get practical. Like, how are you going to get the money to do all the things that you're going to do? Okay? How are you going to, and especially for a lot of you, it's really hard to see the forest through the trees. And so we can be a little bit over emotional right now because like things do not look the way that you want them to look. And you're like, okay, nothing is solidified right now. I don't know where all this is going. But Spirit's like, just keep working towards whatever event that you want to happen. Okay? This is for a bigger purpose. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. What do we got for the collective? What do we got? We got breathe. Okay? For some of you, you just feel like you can't breathe right now. Like, it's this never-ending story. Like, when is this ever going to end? What do we have for the collective right now, Spirit? What do we got? We've got soulmates, but it's on its side. Bottom of the deck, we've got a leg up. So I feel like for some of you, you need to reach out and ask for help, okay? Nothing's yet set in stone, especially maybe even people have said, oh, we'll help you, but nothing's set in stone. Like they're like, well, yeah, I can help you, but... And you're like, oh man, I'm so used to hearing this all the time. But, when people say, oh, I'll help, they don't really solidify anything. So then they can say, well, there was no date, there was no actual plan, And you're like, okay. And maybe the bigger picture on all of this is so that you can reach out and ask other people for help. Maybe there is someone better suited for the help that you need. Especially if these people, do the same thing every time you ask them for their, a leg up, every time you ask them for, anything, they kind of just leave you like all up in the air and they, isn't that frustrating when somebody does that? And then you're like, okay, but I remember somebody a long time ago, they reached out and they were like, and I never even asked for help, but man, did I need this help. So when they reached out and was like, you know what? I'm going to help you with this because I don't see anybody else being able to do it. And I'm like, oh my God, like this would have changed my life. Like this, thank God, And I even offered them something in return. And so month 1 went by, she still hadn't helped me. Month 2 went by, she still didn't help me. Month 3 went by. She kind of like said something about it, but I didn't want to press the issue. Still didn't help me. And then month 7 goes by. Still no fucking help and won't even acknowledge the conversation. Month 9 goes by and that's when I had finally had enough. And that's when I reached out and was like, at the end of the day, I never asked you for your help. And it seems to be like this never-ending cycle, and this is going to end now. Like, I don't need your help anymore. It would have been great, but, and so you're on edge. You're like, okay, well, is this ever going to happen? Like, are you ever going to help me? And so somebody else ended up helping me and then throwing it in my face after they helped me. You know, it came down to that. And that was the leverage on our relationship. So it was like one person started it, somebody else finished it, but now we're not friends because of it. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of sucks, you know, but it should have, you know what, you can say shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it happened exactly the way it was supposed to, you know? And so it makes it very hard when people are like, yeah, you know, I'm going to help you with this, but then it's on the back burner. And I kind of see that here, and I see that as a cycle with somebody. And I feel like you're just kind of getting tired. And at this point, I'm almost getting the soulmates in the reverse. I want to read the soulmates in the reverse. It's the number 41. So 41 adds to a 5. We also have 34 here, which is a 7. We got 10, and we also have 11. So those numbers could be important to you. 41, 37, 29, and 34. I want to read this. An important relationships brings you to your knees. This is a kind of soulmate who comes with a powerful gift. Your patterns and all your old stories that don't serve your well-being enter into this dynamic so you can heal them. This person is called to a sacred task to help you learn, even if it seems uncomfortable, sticky, or even inconceivable. The question is not why did he or she do this to me, but rather what is the gift in this? Look into the mirror. You will only be changed for the better. So I feel like there was like an overwhelming, like, emotional ending in a relationship, maybe because of old patterns in relationships, and ones that, like, if you felt like you were just in this place of like, you know, like you can't breathe, you don't feel like you can let down your hair around certain people, you don't feel like they're always up to the task of anything that, you know, is presented to them, you know, and they're just like, oh God, you again? You know what I mean? You again? You know, that's not much of a friendship, right? Because there are certain cycles that we go through in our relationships that there's nothing we can fucking do about. Just so you know, there are really good people who go through really shitty things in life. And it's hard enough for somebody to ask for help. But when that help comes with somebody who goes, oh God, and then they make you feel like shit for help. Like, I remember I had to move out of a so-called friend's house. Like, she was being a complete asshole. There's no houses in Hawaii, like nothing affordable. And I had to go back there. I was forced back there by the universe. So I go back there. I end up staying with her for a couple of months. And, you know, I'm doing the best that I can. And like, next thing you know, she's being like rude and mean to me. So I end up going to my own daughter's house, and she literally treated me like I was a pile of shit. And I was like, wow, you know, I've been there. I've been in my own shoes, right? I've been where, you know, I've been help for other people when they needed a leg up. And never one time did I make a person feel like shit when they were already feeling like shit. But let me tell you, it didn't take much for my own family and somebody that I considered a really good friend to make me feel like crap. Because I wasn't feeling like crap enough, so why don't we just go ahead and kick them while they're down? You know, at the end of the day, the karma comes back to them, and then they'll wonder, oh, well, why do I have... They're going to get stuck in that cycle themselves at some point. And it's going to be a humbling experience, as it was for myself. You know, It's not easy in this world right now, and nothing is set in stone. So everybody who thinks that or sits up on their high horse believing that they're so much better than everyone else, dude, wait till you're on the other side of all this shit. And don't say that it can never happen to you. Because a fire could come through and blaze up your shit. A divorce can come through and blaze your shit. One bad relationship can wipe you out. Your landlord, if you're a renter, decides to sell. You know, don't think for 2 seconds and then all of a sudden you're scrambling looking for something. And it may take you months. And if the universe doesn't want you in a place, it's going to bounce you around until you find that place. That's why it's saying, like, look at the bigger picture. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at my own kid for, you know, like turning their back on me when I needed them the most. It hurt. Don't get me wrong. But it also like showed me where not to turn to, you know, who I can't rely upon. But one day they're going to need that. One day they're going to want my energy. And, you know, you get stuck between the rock and the hard place of, you know, treating people how they treat you and treating others how that you want to be treated. And I've always been one to treat people how I want to be treated, as many of you have. But at this place in our lives, like, it's really hard when we have to let go of people that, you know, we you know, we're there for them, you know, when they need a leg up. But God forbid when you need a leg up. You know, and it seems to be par for the course because it's a lesson that you need to learn. You know, and, you know, putting yourself, you know, the people that I'm surrounded by now have a better understanding. And it's wonderful to be surrounded by the people that I'm surrounded by now. Because they do understand this energy and they understand what it's like to hit rock bottom. Not that I'm at rock bottom by any means, or nor was I. You know, it was just shitty circumstances. My house got taken over by mold and there was nothing I could have done about it, you know, and I had to get out of there and there was no other place to go, you know, and it's Hawaii. I mean, look at Hawaii. There's really no housing in Hawaii. So it wasn't like I stuck myself in that situation, you know. But at that point, you have to start getting creative as to the way that you're thinking about your next moves. Okay, well, if this isn't working out, maybe it's time for you to, you know, look at the bigger picture here. Maybe it's no longer your place. So you can either continue with the cycle of doing what you're doing, but you're going to have to get practical at some point and start moving forward in a new direction. And yes, you're going to have to let some people go. You're going to have to leave things behind. But that's not a bad thing. Because at the end of the day, nothing is set in stone. Listen, if you're supposed to go back to a certain place, it'll open up. It'll open up. If these people are supposed to be in your life at a later date, the energy will open up. But I think that, you know, people are starting to see other people's true colors right now. And funny enough, the people who are giving you a leg up are, a lot of these people are just people who came out of the woodwork. They just pop out of the woodwork. Not the people that you thought were your friends or your family. But it's unbeknownst to a lot of people right now, it's perfect strangers that are coming out of the woodwork right now that are more helpful than the people that you thought were going to be helpful. So if you're relying on your own friends or family, you know, and you're like, God, you know, I've always gone out of my way to help them. Where the fuck are they when I need help? Well, Spirit's like, well, this is going to be uncomfortable for you, but here's a bunch of strangers. And those are going to be your friends now. Those are going to be your acquaintances. Those are going to be your tribe now. Those are going to be the people who are actually going to help you through whatever the situation is. Whether this is coming out of a rocky relationship, whether this is leaving a job, whether this is moving away from home. Everybody's going to go through, you know, their own thing. And it's going to feel familiar. Like, man, I've been in this situation before and I didn't like that. Like, this shit sucked. So, what do our spirit guides, angels, and ancestors have to say about this? What do we got? Okay, I've got a couple of cards. It says the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? All right? Maybe for some of you, this is stepping up and helping. But how are you, what kind of, well, what do we got? We got the great gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe. Yeah. Share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution and expression. That can be really hard because we don't want to come out, and say what we want to really say because of fear of persecution. Like, whenever we share our voice or whenever we speak up for ourselves, people will always turn it around on you, that it's got to be your fault that you're in that situation, right? And it's like, people, the first thing that they do is they instantly attach themselves to a negative belief in your situation because they love, it's one of those misery loves companies, and people love to see when you are in a hard spot. They love it. They thrive off of it. They're like, oh, well, I'm not in that situation. Dude, well, there's going to be a day where that lightning strikes on your situation and it's not going to feel good. And then you're going to need to come back towards the priestesses and the priests that have actually gone through this experience. And they're the ones that are actually going to help you out of it. But depending on what you say and how you make this person feel about what they're going through, let me tell you, that's going to depend on the karma that comes back around and bites you in the ass. Because there's going to be a time where the wheel has turned and what is up must come down and what is down must come up. So remember that just because somebody is on their high horse right now doesn't mean that they're not going to get slammed right onto their face. Because I am seeing the Wheel of Fortune energy, and I'm just seeing like the devil that goes around the Wheel of Fortune. Let me see if I can find that and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's like, be careful because there's going to be a time where the devil tries to bring you down too. And it's not going to feel very good. And depending on how you treated others when they were in their darkest of moments is going to be dependent on how you're treated in your darkest of moments. Isn't it funny that I'm almost to the fucking beginning? There it is. Look at that. See the devil right there? The snake, the devil, what is down must come up and what is up must come down. So there's going to be a time where the devil is up. And then there's going to be a time when the devil is down. So it's all about the devil Make sure that devil isn't you. Just know, you guys, that regardless of how shitty other people have treated you, you are coming into alignment with your soul tribe. But it's going to take you releasing, old karmic lessons and people in order for you to make room for the new tribe, the new people, the people who are going to be there that want to help you, who are doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and not the kind of people who need to go and take a homeless person lunch and take a picture with them while they're doing it. Here, let me get this on my reels on social media so I can hear from everybody how wonderful of a person I am for helping out this poor unfortunate soul. You know what? It's like that Little Mermaid song. They've been giving me songs a lot lately in my readings, and poor unfortunate soul. It's the Ursula. This is Ursula energy. Be careful that you're not Ursula. And be careful dealing with the Ursulas of the planet. Because I almost see that even here. While the little mermaid's just sitting out here like, oh my God, I need my voice. But the situation that you're in now, it's like, it's not the end, okay? Everything is okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. You just might get tired of feeling this feeling and going through this experience, but it's not the end. Speak up. Ask for what you need. Put it out there. Make sure you're talking to other people about, and that's going to be how you get your leg up. It's like the coconut wireless. And I know some of you are like, I'm tired of doing this. I know you're tired of doing this. I know you are. But at the end of the day, it's not going to stop you. I'm going to leave that here, you guys. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in a personal reading, I am doing a sale on my What the Fuck is Going On reading. So please check that out. It's over on my website. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram under the Footsteps to Peace. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It does help my channel grow. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.